DreamHack ASTRO Open is brought to you by ASTRO, Monster Energy, Corsair, Zowie, and Intel.
It's time for the grand finals here at the DreamHack ASTRO Open in Denver. The Big D has been the host of some of the most talented CSGO professionals in the world this weekend, 40 of them to be exact, but now only 10 remain in pursuit of the trophy. Mousesports and Renegades have exited the running, and now we're only left with Cloud9 and Big in the $50,000 matchup. One best of three will determine your DreamHack ASTRO Open champion here in Denver. Now, if you're just joining us from Twitch chat, I'm gonna have to ask you to type 1 in chat to get some hype going. And if you're in the crowd right now, I would really like you to make some noise because it's just about finals time. There we go. Not bad at all. Let's go ahead and really hit the important stuff, guys, because I feel like I'm just missing something here. And you know what it is? I think it's giving a thanks to the people that make this all possible. ASTRO, Monster Energy, Zowie, Corsair, and of course, Intel, making this all very much possible here in Denver. And guys, are you hyped? Are you not hyped? Is this the final you wanted?
Not the final we expected, but coming off that last game, I think everyone's hyped.
Oh yeah, everyone is definitely sky high right now, and not just because the game was exciting. You know, Cloud9 really put on a great performance there against Mousesports. Two very high-skilled teams clashed. It went the distance. We went into extra, overtime, something we haven't done the entire tournament. So that semifinal really delivered. So this final has a lot to live up to.
Well, guys, we're going to take a quick look here at the groups and how this one all played out so that you can kind of get a storyline if you're just now joining us in terms of the play that has transpired over this past weekend. And just real quickly, Hayes, walk me through Group A.
Yeah, so Group A was kind of a dark horse group for us. We didn't know if CLG or Renegades were going to make it out as number 2. We kind of expected Cloud9 to make it out. Not as convincingly as they did. They kind of smashed their way through. In Tempo Storm, we didn't really give a chance. So, it was a fairly standard group for us. No real big surprises.
Well, we're going to switch now to Group B. Dust, really quickly sum this up for us.
Yeah, this is the group that did have the surprise, right? Big actually being able to beat Mousesports in the winner's bracket final, which put them in a separate semi from having to play against a Cloud9 or a Mousesports. And so they are going to be the one playing against Cloud9 in the final. Because of that now, Mousesports did battle their way through the bottom, but of course we just saw them fall just short of Cloud9 in the semifinals. Just
short, and I do believe, honestly, we can even fast forward now to the playoff brackets. Because this is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Cloud9 and Big in the grand finals, and as you can see, Mousesports and Renegades, having played earlier today against their respected opponents, have lost and are now out of the running for, the big check anyways.
Yeah, and I think what I like about this final the most is the differing styles between Big and Cloud9. It's, Cloud9, well, surprisingly this tournament, have been playing very slow and tactical, but we expect them to be aggressive and get in your face and use aim duels. But Big, not so much.
Big, not so much. Let's go ahead and check in with Paula, who's on the stage right now here in Denver, getting ready to, well, you know what? Paula, what do you got for us, man?
I have an amazing crowd in front of me. These guys are buzzing. Of course, very happy that Cloud9 have made it through. Who's ready for this final?
Okay.
I think it goes without saying, Trez.
Yeah, absolutely. I even heard a couple alpacas getting a little rowdy back there.
Don't get my hopes up. I wish the alpacas were here. They're still not, all right?
They're still not. Well, you know what, Paula? We'll be checking in with you real shortly, so make sure, you don't do anything weird over there.
Indeed. I'll look off the stage to the best of my ability. Trez, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Guys, we have an incredible matchup ahead of us, and most importantly, I think it's time we hear from these teams themselves.
Together with Tabson, the strongest player on this side, and Tabson doubles up. He gets even more, Tabson. Now they're going to push through. First shot goes in. Schedule on point. He gets a double as well.
Keeve is going to be ready to fight. This is his stairway. You're not going to get past it. 3 quick kills for him.
Stewie's always at an advantage. He gets a triple. Takes down all of them. Stewie.
Feels really good. We said we want to be in the final since we beat Mousesports. We saw that we're gonna get Renegades, and yeah, we're just really happy. not only is it important for us to win, but I think it'll be a really big confidence boost for us going into the next event. And I think that we're going to do it. I mean, we're really confident since the tournament just went how we thought it's going to go. We're really confident because everything that we tried worked, so we have a lot of confidence. The crowd here is unbelievable, honestly, because the support they're giving us, it's such a small crowd but so loud and explosive, and it's really pushing us there because when we're down, they're cheering for us, when we're up, they're cheering for us. It really does help out a lot, so I appreciate all the fans out there.
Who is ready for this final? Can I hear you one last time? I've got Stewie on my right, representative for Cloud9, then of course got B from Big. Guys, the last time you guys played against each other, if I'm not mistaken, was the Major Inferno. It did go in favor of Big. Does that factor in at all now?
Let's just say we're a different team and I know they're scared.
Ooh, Gob.
I'm not scared, but let him think what he thinks.
I like this, the passion, the excitement. Is there any final words to each other, the fans, anybody watching at home?
Best of luck, and thanks to all the fans that came out to watch us.
Same. Just be sportive and have fun.
Guys, I am so ready for this. Please do head back to your teams, shake hands. DreamHack Denver, it's the final. Do not go anywhere.
That is absolutely right. You know what? That's some mighty big words out of Stewie 2K right there. You got to be careful, though. Gabi might have a few tricks up his sleeve.
I'm happy we hear some of that, man. I'm so sick of the standard, like, oh yeah, good luck, man. No, let's get some confidence out there. I like that.
Oh, my favorite ones are the post-game interviews where it's, well, we didn't miss our shots, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but in reality, give us a little character. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Yeah, I've always been on the side of actually not talking trash.
It is definitely a good idea. Stay away from kappa signs and really make sure you don't tote that line too hard. Advice from personal experience. Go ahead.
Well, we can actually revisit that one a little bit later. I was just going to say, in CSGO, I think there's some sort of a graph here. It's like win, talk trash, lose, talk trash. Either way, that's the way it works in CSGO. Ultimately, at least what I know, but you know, what do I know? Either way, guys, we've got a hell of a matchup here between Cloud9 and Big. Let's talk a little bit about Cloud9 now and what we can look forward to in terms of this upcoming matchup.
Yeah, so Cloud9, I guess if I had to sum up both teams in one word, I would say Cloud9's been electric and Big's been surprising, and when you put them together, you're going to have a nice final, in my opinion. I would like to see, you know, Stewie continue his run of form over this tournament. He's the highest rated player. Tarek's creeping up real close. Even as an in-game leader, he's been phenomenal. You know, Rush has fallen into the back, you know, a little bit, but it's not surprising when you're entry fragging and your team is full of stars. You're not always going to get big numbers. Skadoodle has amazing clutches, as Dust pointed out after our post-game against Mousesports. And Automatic has, you know, fallen in shadows a little bit, but he's there doing his job, and that's what's important.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 valid MVP candidates for this tournament on this Cloud9 team between, you know, Stewie 2K, Tarek, and Skadoodle, just depending on how this grand final goes. You know, either one of those guys could wind up taking, because they are all very neck and neck when it comes to statistics they're putting on the board and the impact. And like you said, even though Rush, you know, has been a bit more quiet, like he had a substantial amount of impact on that Cobblestone CT side to, you know, get that map off of Mousesports and help them get into these grand finals. And he's had the harshest adjustment of anyone on this team. We have to be honest about that. He's the one who's really taken a back seat on a lot of the T sides from what he's used to from playing with Optic when he was a star entry fragger. On the CT side, though, he still has a massive role to play, and he does it well.
They certainly do have their hands full. No way around it, because Gabi has this sort of ability to be this mastermind sort of tactician that we know. It should be interesting, I think, to see what he has actually prepared. Did they even expect to play Cloud9 in the finals is a question you could ask.
Yeah, I would say they expected to see Cloud9 here. Based on their group stage performance, you know, you didn't really see any faults in their gameplay, and you kind of thought, wow, these guys are on fire after their E-League debut with this roster. They played phenomenal there, beating G2 and coming close to beating Astralis. Well, maybe not close to beating them, but
I mean, they were pretty close. I mean, they got burned in that last map, but I mean, they were really close and Overpass and did take a map off of them. And when you see them playing against elite level teams like that, you know, obviously the G2 victory mixed into that. You know, only really FaZe has got the best of them lately, and that was in New York. And I mean, they're the best team in the world.
No one's beaten FaZe.
Yeah. So to be fair, Cloud9 has certainly slowly been ramping up, and this is their moment to follow up the D-League Premier result. They've already taken down Mousesports, probably the stiffest competition we expected for them here. And so now they just need to take care of business against Big.
Taking care of business against Big is on their docket. And speaking of these big guys, let's go ahead and actually traverse the conversation over to their side of the equation, right? So we talk about Gob B being this sort of tactician. What else is there to say about this big lineup?
Well, what I want to see is, does this whole firing on all cylinders thing hold up to what is Cloud9? Because first of all, it's hard for me to expect Leggy and Gob B to be able to continue to put up big numbers when they're playing this high skilled of a lineup. Fair enough, they did do it to Mouse Sports in the best of one. They were still, pretty decent there, so maybe they can. And I really want to see what happens to Nex in this final, because notoriously when he was on Mouse Sports in the past, he would be massive in group stage games. He would usually do all right against teams that were even with his team or maybe a little bit of an underdog. He would never really fall prey to people he shouldn't. But when he had the big games, sometimes he would go a little bit quiet. Now, I will say on Big, he's been a bit better about that. The Major kind of proved that to me. I think this is some of the best CS he's played on this team. He seems to feel more comfortable. I want to see if he keeps that up against Cloud9.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. tabseN hasn't been the player we expected him to be in this tournament. He definitely picked up his game in the semis. He played a lot better, but he hasn't been the carry tabseN, and I think that's really good for this roster. Everyone's picking it up, and I think something happened. I'm assuming it's happened probably after Mykonos, after they got scraped there, that they probably, went back home and they said, we really got to structure our gameplay better and, try and get everyone involved, because tabseN, up until that point, I think was the only player on that team that they were really focused on getting kills.
Perhaps not utilized appropriately. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I would say so, but maybe not tabseN, just the rest of the team. Leading up to this tournament, I didn't think Keeve was a very good player at all. And in this tournament, he has been explosive.
Well, it's either spam this noodle to help Skadoodle, or it's Keepo if you're feeling the way of Gob B. And you didn't hear that from me. Either way, guys, we got the map veto coming in right now, coming in hot. Again, this is a best of 3, and ultimately it only takes 2 of these maps to walk home with 50 Gs. That's right. Let's go ahead and take a look now at our first set of banned maps coming out from Cloud9 and big teams. Guys, where do we expect this one to fall?
Yeah, so both these teams don't like nuke, so it's going to be a game of chicken on nuke. If I'm Cloud9, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it in, because I don't really care what map they pick at this point. Do you think you're the better team? Well, interesting enough, they ban it. I guess they're going for comfort picks, which is fine. I expect to see in this maybe Cobble. Big has been really good on it lately, even though Cloud9 just won against Mouse Sports on it and broke a long winning streak. I don't know the exact number of it, but they got fresh info on how they play Cobble. I think they'll be comfortable playing it, and they'll probably pick it. And they end up going with Cash.
Right.
This is statistically their best map, so it's not a huge surprise.
We're going to see a little bit of Cash coming out first. It will be the pick there from Big. And then, again, knife for sides across these maps, so there is no advantage to say, they're going to be starting CT or T. Again, it is knife for sides. The first map we will be seeing is Cash. Dust, what do we think about this matchup in Cash?
Yeah, I mean, Cloud9 hasn't really played a whole lot of anything yet with this 5, but Cash is certainly a map that I think can play to their strengths, similar to Mirage, just being a team that can spread the map and be able to fight for that mid-control using those heavy aimers. I think it has put players like Stewie2K and Rush out of place, though. Like, they're playing positions they're not used to having played on previous teams. Stewie playing outside B a lot on default, Rush a lot of squeaky door play to let, Automatic and Terror kind of do the entering. So I kind of curious how they handle that adjustment in this first map on Cash, as you did say Big was quite good on it. We do have Train coming out from Cloud9. What do you think about that?
That's not really a big surprise. We know Train for this team, Automatic loves to rush outside. This whole team loves to rush outside. They
love to rush everything.
Dude, they blitz outside. It's out of control. I think this is the only map of their pool that I've seen this tournament where they played actually aggressive and they didn't play a slow default style.
So we've got Cash, we've got Train, and we will be going to Cobble for a third map. Now, interestingly enough, I did catch up with Stewie2K in the break, and we kind of chat a little bit about how they're going to approach this, what their sort of overall game plan is. And I think their big picture here, from what I deduced, was that they're going to try to catch them flat-footed. They're going to try to catch them in their set pieces.
I mean, I think it's a valid thing to do. We know that Big likes to execute, and Cash is a perfect example of that. A lot of heavy utility executes, particularly on the A-bomb side they like to run. I do know that Cloud9 likes to be proactive on their CT side on Cash. They're going to pop flash A main. They're going to push you squeaky door. They're going to go for aggressive angles with the AWP. So I think that plays right to what you said, Trace, there, is that they are going to see if they can't disrupt them. I think that's matches up with Cloud9 style.
Well, it's either spam this cheese to help Keeve or spam this noodle to help Skadoodle, but I need to get your predictions, guys. Which one are you spamming?
So are we doing the full series or just the first map for this prediction?
Let's just go with the first map.
Okay, I'm gonna take Cloud9 here on Cash. Sure. I'll just take them 2-0. I'm just gonna call it now.
Just straight up.
Oh wow.
Just straight up call it.
Okay. Yeah. You got some cojones.
No.
I'm gonna go with. I'll go map by map because I'm not as bold. I'm gonna go with I'm going to go with Cloud9 on this one. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be about 16-13, 16-12, something around there.
I don't think the word is bold. I think it's rational. I think when you're given the option to you know, kind of predict one and you go for the gold, that is what it is. Either way, I called this thing, I don't know what, yesterday, the day before. Cloud9's taking this finals 2-1. There's no way around that. 100% Cloud9's going to be walking away with this one. Hold me to that, kind of, sort of. Anyway.
What map do you pick for Big to win?
Doesn't matter.
All right. Yeah.
It ain't no prediction. That's the way it's going to be. Let's go ahead and bring in our commentators right now because these guys, we switched them out. We've got Blue and Launders. Guys, are we hyped? Are we hyped?
I think we're very hyped for this matchup. It's the matchup that everybody wanted to see coming into the grand finals. It is exactly the one we got here. We have the two powerhouse teams, and they're going to be clashing, and it should be a really epic showdown.
Hell yeah, baby. You know why I'm wearing blue right now?
Why is that?
Because the only suit I packed. Cloud9 2-0, baby. Let's go.
Absolutely. Well, again, guys, have fun. We're going to be checking in with you at the end of each map.
All right, thank you very much, Sada. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to jump into this first map in just a couple of moments. We're going to be deep diving right into it here. Cloud9 taking on Big for the title here at Denver. We didn't get to do our own predictions. I've already heard yours now. I'm with Cloud9 too on this one. I do think it is going to go to all three maps here, as I'm not entirely certain on Cloud9's cash, but I feel like on the final two maps, they are going to have the power to overtake Big there, and that's where they'll come out on top.
I'm right there with you, man. I do think that there is a chance for Big on cash. It is a very difficult map to be consistent on, though. As a small map, it's very, very favorable for individual players, and Cloud9 have that in spades. So I think that on a CT side with players like Cloud9, it's going to be really easy to get away with a lot of aggression, and that aggression is called for on cash. You're going to have to be pushing B main and A main if you don't want to hold mid control. Mid control can be T-sided, so you're going to see that situation arise quite often. Sometimes squeaky pushes. Skadoodle's going to have to stop being stationary. Stewie might have to pick up the second op. It's going to get really hairy, but I think in those moments, Cloud9 will shine, and that's why I do think it'll be a 2-0. But you gotta believe that, you know, Big aren't gonna mess up a veto, and they're gonna be ready to play cash.
All right, guys. Well, it looks like it is time to go live, so let's make some noise. Let's hear who you want to win here. Will it be Cloud9, or is it gonna be Big?
Everyone just comes
a little bit quieter there.
Yeah.
It's given the territory.
But there is respect across the table from these two teams, right? We know that Gobby is a big fan of Automatic and vice versa, and that's because they respect each other's gameplay. Automatic loves to study this guy, and I think it's good that maybe he's not calling now. Ooh, that might be a little misleading. He got a dink off on White Box, and it's actually a lead into B.
Starting these players moving back in. Automatic is going to be pitched on here very heavily. Gets the first kill. Blinds out a second. He get pushed forward. He's not able to find that kill, though. Gets traded out by Legia very quickly, who somehow is able to survive that encounter as we see that player completely flashed out, but it doesn't matter. It ends up in a 4v4 for the retake, and Big still have a player over on A there that's lurking. I believe that's Gobby that's going to attempt to sneak in. He's already been spotted, though, now low at 14 HP. He'll have to route around the map looking for another path to try and get some kills here. Now we see the CTs moving back in. It's Stewie, along with another member of Cloud9, striking first. Next, and Legia will both respond in kind, though, evening it out, but Tarek strikes once again, and Cloud9 will pull off the retake, giving them the pistol here to start off our grand final.
Hey, first of all, fantastic stuff from Tarek to get those 3 kills on the retake. Highly effective flashes, well-timed peeks, good spacing and coordination from Cloud9 on that retake, and ultimately, Automatic helped out a bit. He missed that second kill. The player was blind, though, and it isn't necessarily the thought that counts, but when the round is only this over, the only score that matters is the one at the top. So 1-0 start for Cloud9. Tough spot to be in for Big. We don't actually have them forcing up in response. Instead, they're going to be upgrading their pistols, smoking a couple of flashes on 2 or 3 players. And from here, they're going to move out into what looks like some type of ace play. You know, you can't spend too much time in your default because you'll end up taking way too much chip damage. Makes it hard to execute. And Big setting up now actually to bust out mid. Skadoodle also, since he's got some assistance, might hang out at White Box a little bit longer than Big would like.
It's a bit of a heavier buy overall here from Big than compared to what we're used to seeing on these second rounds after a plant comes in, so they do buy down slightly, but this additional utility should at least allow them to overwhelm one of the sites and try to have an easier time of getting that second plant, which will enable a stronger third round buy here. They're making a lot of noise today, and that's actually pulling the rotates, as we are going to see players quickly moving up mid, but it doesn't matter. Cloud9 are shutting it down anyway. 4, and now all 5 go down without a single trade going by the way of Big.
you could say they won that round right out the gate with that proper setup. They had 2 players at mid, and that shuts down the mid split. And then you have automatic boosted on Shroud, just to watch for anybody coming out of A main to catch them off guard. And if Big knew that anybody had been playing that dedicated to A, they would have avoided the site entirely. So here's a highway hold that comes easily to the 2 players holding it, and there's no problem for Cloud9 to clean that up without losing a man.
Moving into this next round where Big do get the bot as a result of the fact that they did invest slightly more heavily. You're going to see here that not everybody gets an AK. We actually have quite a few players downgrading to 2 umps, along with a Galil there on key, but that also affords them extra utility. So they're scrapping the buy a little bit, but so is Cloud9, as they're still working with their anti-eco weapons here as we get into this first very scrappy gun round.
Now we do have a plant, and that's why we see Big with all the guns that they want, but they are still a little bit weak. Cloud9 haven't upgraded since they didn't lose any members last round. This is something of a bonus round for them. And that can cut both ways. Rush has some support at middle. They've taken aggressive positions here. Big are not posturing to do anything. The only thing that they've tasked a player to get aggressive in is Squeaky. Legia is making his presence known. Very safe area to be in, though, even into the late round, no matter what site you're going to. And it's really just a game of utility now, as they actually go for the counter boost. Going to be a matter of patience now.
Stewie looking for the right way to execute upon it, gets up on top, but no, countered out as his opponent does have the AK. However, there's a trade quickly found by Rush, but he's still in a little bit of a hot spot here, and it's going to get even hotter now as the molly goes onto the ground that'll burn him out. Gabi gets an additional kill against Rush, giving Big back their man advantage. And it looks like finally, with time getting very low, they are going to finally move in for the Executor, and they've already done some primer damage to get into the site. You can see Automatic getting very low, so that's going to cause Skadoodle to rotate over here, take up positions, and now look to defend it. Automatic ready to hold this off, though. Gets the first kill, but now he's got to look towards Highway, as that's where these players will continue to move in from. Skadoodle as well, unfortunately going to be overwhelmed here. He does dig one more, though, so he's got all 3 of these players low, and now Tarek is going to look for the clutch. He's got 1, needs to find 2 more, however, and as he lurks back out, he's going to need to be careful. There's a player hiding up, waiting for him here at Truck. He'll back up. Now that player's been spotted, Tarek sees him going to Highway, and this is where this gets a little bit more difficult, as this is a strong setup, and Tarek didn't even see it coming. Tabson holding on the other side there, knocks him out, and it's Big that take control here with a scoreline now of 2-1.
Tarek had a great opportunity in that 3v1 to actually close out the round. We saw how low Big players were, but they played that round really well, considering how little they had to work with. Like, they had the utility, but they took mid slow enough that the trades came out. They put a lot of pressure on players who were close up, and as the round timer ticks down, it gets more and more dangerous to be right up against that smoke at mid, where Rush was playing under the pipes, and they still made it work. So Cloud9 brought the trades close. Stewie obviously getting killed on the boost was a big deal for Big, and when they hit the A site, it was all over. Actually, Automatic took a ton of damage from Squeaky, as I think Legia spammed him right out the gate. So all in preparation. Big have worked that round really well, putting Cloud9 in a position where they are buying up. They're not going to have everything they want. A couple players with half armor is definitely compromises that we see, and not a single kid as well.
Yeah, and they will try their best now to fend off Big and stop them from getting off to a strong start here on Cash with this buy. Big, though, seem to be moving relatively quickly into A main. We've got to see if they're going to follow this up with an execute. Usual CT smokes are going to be tossed into A main there, and that should hold off Big, at least for a couple seconds here, as they'll actually move directly out of A main, mainly just posturing up there so as to counter any aggressive push from Cloud9. Besides that, it goes all quiet across the map again here, with Big looking to take some control maybe in mid here in a second. So you see a couple nades going over the top. No push for the boosted players just yet.
We're 3 rounds in, Blue, and we've seen 3 A splits so far. Cloud9 seem to be fully prepared for this. Now, Skadoodle is a weak link, and he is watching mid, where they do plan on splitting. So expect that even with 3 players here, Big have an opportunity with a proper split to get into the site.
Skadoodle's going to spot this first, moves in, is able to tag down Gabi, brings him to 30 HP, no frag being found just yet. It'll hold them off by tossing an additional utility here. Now the Tees will try to push forward, but as we see, the hold from up on top from Automatic is only going to net him 1 kill. He goes down, Skadoodle's trying to hold on to the site, but he can't get it done. It's a very similar situation to what we had in the last round here. Big's players, they take a whole lot of damage, but unfortunately not enough of them go down. Cloud9's going to look to change that now, however, with Stewie coming out of Z, he finds not just 1, but 2 pickups. And now it's on Keeve to clutch from the side of Big. I'll be holding in a back site, looking for his opportunity to try and bring down these members of Cloud9, but they're playing it together, and they'll instantly knock out Keeve, giving the round to C9 and giving them back that advantage at a 3-1 scoreline.
It seemed like the trades were actually quite favorable for both sides at a certain point, and great composure in the 2v3 on that retake, knowing that some players are low, and as long as they take it carefully enough, they can catch some people off guard. Stewie playing a very important role, getting that 1 kill at mid as well, opening up highway and leaving that guy destitute. So now it's round 5. Cloud9 are going to have another bye, but it's really about Big at this moment, who had a couple of rough rounds that they actually managed to close one out in, and don't have enough money to put together rifles. So have upgraded to just Deagles, and this is a good opportunity for Cloud9 to actually build a bank.
Yes, they're still sitting in very, very low cash overall. The most money that someone has on Cloud9 right now is Rush and Automatic, who both sit at just 1K. So if Big do any damage here at all, it's going to be hugely detrimental to the Cloud9 roster, and what a way to start it off. tabseN goes right over Boost, finds Skadoodle in the open, and knocks him out.
Always so satisfying to hear that Deagle ring off, and especially on an Opper, they see Skadoodle's name in the kill feed and realize, all right, maybe we can actually think about winning this round and not just doing damage. With mid control as well, they know that this is a very standard setup to try to finesse that white box with an Opper. Now that he's gone, there's probably no support, so they can get away with something similar to what they've been doing, no matter what they decided they wanted to do out of spawn.
They have Automatic up on top of the light post here. However, he's going to have to fall back and now find himself in a bit of an awkward position, especially with the smoke moving in. Pressure now falls to Rush here. Holds for 1 kill, but then gets traded by Gabi seconds later. Automatic trying to push forward, once again doing great damage. Gets that first kill, but now he's low at 19 HP. And it's going to be Gabi that takes him out. Tarek, though, found another kill in the process. Kept it even into a 2v2, but now Big are upgrading these weapons here. Next getting out, knocks out Tarek with a headshot. And it's only Stewie left alive here. Trying to clutch a 1v2. He'll hold for a moment. He's going to let Big, I believe, go for the plant here before he even attempts the retake.
They don't want to try to cover this. Stewie's also going to let them plan after delaying some time. Staying at bomb wall, making sure that nobody can cross. They go for the double peek. It's a good play. Gabi comes out with the instant trade, steals up a round for Big on the anti-eco.
And that trade will put Cloud9's economy right back into the dirt here, about 3K or less for all these players, but they will decide to force into it now. As you can see, it's not going to be that great. A CZ, a Scout, an Ump, and it'll be similar buys to Rush and Skadoodle.
They've been crippled. Big's opportunity to strike is right now. If they do kill Cloud9 here, it might be a double save, and there couldn't be a better round to win than one that you're actually saving. So force-ups are one thing, but here they have a surplus. tabseN peering over Boost, as he usually does. At least gets one player to shy off of Highway, but that leaves their man, I think, Skadoodle actually at the sandbags all alone. Hard to cross from here. And oh, it looks like Stewie's actually moved up to close mid as well. He's in a position that can be flushed out, though. You know, if they use their nades properly, as we're seeing that they're doing, it's going to be hard for him to stand still.
Good, nice smoke moves in from Skadoodle there to try and help Stewie out here, as there was a chance that he got flushed out, but they definitely knew someone was hiding in that cubby. Gabi was completely trained on that angle for a good 10+ seconds, hoping for someone to peek it. So it's a good thing that they're able to use that smoke to relocate him, as otherwise Stewie might have been a dead man from the actual execute from Big, which we're now going to start seeing through mid here. 2 players going up on top of Boost, and at the moment, only Skadoodle here to hold it. He's just got a measly little CZ. Wow, he dinks the player, but Gabi knocks him out. They'll still have to check out the rest of mid, and Rush, in the meantime, with the distractions, able to take this forward position. However, Rush's position may not end up meaning much at the end of the day. With Keeve's kill on a Stewie and B Hulls, I believe they're going to end up flooding in that direction over towards the site to go for a quick execute here. But Cloud9 are reading this, rotating at least one of their players over. Rush will push out at the wrong time, though, and now his flank has been killed before it even can really start there. Legia knocks him out. Automatic will still hold at Heaven, but this is going to be a rough position to try to do anything with. A lot of the pressure is going to fall to Tarek, and even he only has a Scout. Nice shot, though, right through the door. Tags another. He'll go down, but Automatic can trade it. Unfortunately, that'll be the last trade he gets. Keeve eliminates him, and it's now Big tying us up at 3-3.
Some damage dealt, but it's just a consolation prize for Cloud9. Overall, Big played the round out really well. They put just as much pressure on mid as they needed to. Cloud9 had a couple smokes to assist in the relocation of Stewie when he was close up, but they made sure not to get caught when they went and poked at mid from a B main push or an A main push, and nobody died in the process of going towards B. So default we've seen has been very strong for Big. They put Cloud9 on a full save and effectively on the back foot as they look to just try to get a couple more kills before they move on to rifles again.
Yep, Gabi's already out bullying towards mid here. One trade rolls out from Skadoodle, but this is just the mass of Cloud9 players pushing themselves into mid here. And while they do find that 1 kill, it's not going to mean much at the end of the day, as Big still shut it down with 5 kills going their way and only 1 trade against them.
In that buy save situation, the half buy has actually has taken out of Cloud9's current. They've got 4 to 5K on most players, and everybody's going to be able to half armor up. But Big are going to realize that if they put this together, that they're either not going to have an up, or it's going to be like Skadoodle in this situation where he has one without armor. No kits once again. Hasn't really been the after plan or running out of time that has been a big problem for them. But all the moments leading up to that, Big are doing a great job of getting on sites.
Not only that, but they're doing a great job with their utility usage in the early round here. Once again, Tarek just gets destroyed by a well-placed HE grenade. Big have definitely done their research here. They know exactly how Cloud9 wants to play this. They catch them getting aggressive in mid and punish them for it with a nice nade right on the Tarek's head. They still are going to hold 2 in mid here in the event that mid go for that, or Big go for that mid control. At the moment, they are posturing up towards those B halls. However, with players shifting now back towards mid, it is a large possibility that we may see them go for another type of A split. But right now, they're just playing into a default, trying to see if they can get an early kill before they actually commit to and execute on either site.
What's really important, and what we've been critical of other teams in this tournament, is when they use their default, but they don't appear to be doing anything. Big, however, when they're clearing out mid, are doing it slow enough that it's forcing Cloud9 to keep refreshing their mid smokes, which is a finite amount. And then when they do that, putting the right side mid guy in an awkward position. Here's Rush having to relocate, but taking damage in the process. So they're constantly being active, even though it appears they're being very, very passive and safe.
Yeah, so that's 2 players taking massive amounts of damage right at the start of this round. Skadoodle, however, is going to start us off with that first kill. Now, as they begin to move in, Cloud9 will be a little bit more passive here. Another well-placed Molotov is going to force Skadoodle out of position. He's still ready to take the fight, though, and strikes with another pickup against Tabson here. Moving up on Catwalk, though. They're going to have to be careful of that as Next can move in, gets one, does great damage to a second, but Automatic Truck is there for a trade. Legia, though, takes him right down, but Stewie will take his place to trade it back. Now it's a 1v3. Kiev looking for his potentiality to clutch, as he'll fall back and cross. Truck, it's a little dangerous. However, they're not peeking him right now, but we do see Rush moving in from A-Main to shut it down for C9, as they now tie it up once again.
The trades were beautiful, absolutely beautiful from Cloud9 in that situation. You have to wonder why there was no cross smoke, if they didn't save one or what the deal was, but that would have been a critical one, right? Like that's the smoke that everybody knows no one misses and you always throw when you go to A site, right? But they for some reason didn't do that. I think they were really relying on a mid split or players to help them out from multiple choke points. But regardless, we've got Cloud9. First is a very fast mid take. They're doing a great job with it, though.
They're ready for it here. Tarek, it didn't seem like he was ready for it at first, but he's able to completely counter it out. Big try to go into fast mode here, and it does not play out well for them at all. It's down to Kiev once again, in pretty much an impossible situation, especially after getting hit by that nade. A 1v4. He'll look to maximize damage as Cloud9's economy is still in a bad spot. The flash goes out, but it doesn't blind anyone as Stewie shuts it down, and Cloud9 now take back the lead.
So here's a situation where it seems like Big didn't actually get that much info on mid. They just assumed that Cloud9 were pushing up round after round. Now they were putting Rush in an awkward spot, doing damage to players that pushed up, moving Stu around, but they didn't actually prod, and they didn't always kill them or go out right away. And there's a situation where Cloud9 do the exact same setup, Big run headfirst into it, and I think they should have put more players towards the boost. It's faster to get out lower mid, but you don't have that high-low advantage you have when you come out and you can swing together as you both boost up. And usually at the beginning of the round, that mid area is going to be smoked right away. You know, you don't really smoke boost, you molly it. But there's always the risk that that teams can come out despite that. So I think there we saw that Big try to throw in a change up, and it's good to keep up the tempo because it keeps the CTs in check. It forces them to use utility early on. But if it fails like that, well, that's obviously a very fruitful round for Cloud9. They make a lot of money off of it. Now they finally have all kits, head armor, full utility, and have put Big on the back foot, completely saving here. Only not even half armor on a single player.
Yeah, some players not buying anything at all. Next looks like he's just on the Glock itself and literally doesn't buy anything else. So we have a couple deagles though. We saw those finding great impact on the previous rounds. So we're gonna have to hope that they can do it again, just in lesser numbers here as Cloud9 do posture up once again towards that A site. They will have to rotate Skadoodle over, however, as he's currently playing, watching for additional mid pressure, but this is gonna be an all-in A rush from the Big players as soon as they can set their players up to execute here. And it's gonna fall to Automatic.
Oh, Big know this works. They've done it. 2 players here have gone down in the site. Cloud9 are definitely weaker, as it seems, in this half than we've seen in the rest of this tournament.
Automatic with a nicely timed molly there. Should restrict some of the pressure coming out this side, but the problem is it's going to funnel everyone over towards Rush. He shuts it all down, though. 3 quick kills from him. Skadoodle getting the 4th, and now Tabson sits alone again, just trying to get some damage done. Has no clue where the shots are coming from, though. Has to just take a guess if he wants to fire through the smoke and wait for it to fade, but even then, player will fall back to NBK, not giving anything away to Tabson, and it's only a matter of time here until that happens, and we do see Cloud9 taking dominant control with essentially no damage done to them in the round.
So going to the same site over and over again can have an interesting effect because on the one hand, if you're going to the site because it works, you've gotten in there, you've killed players, but as you keep going and they get more accustomed to holding, they become better, right? You're basically deathmatching in the process. Sometimes somebody might not come to your site and you're holding B for the entire round, and then suddenly, oh my God, that was very close. And suddenly they rush B and you can't hold it, even though you felt great before the game started. And you feel like you got caught off guard. And if they keep going to A, they limit their amount of chances to close out rounds. Now they have shown that they can take A, and they've also put rounds on the board with this half coming to a close. So with that, they can also get Cloud9 to really fear that an A hit might take effect and use that to go B, or as a false exec, bait out grenades and then hit A again.
Cloud9 actually playing into the fact that they're probably going to execute towards A. They leave the site open. They essentially try to play for a retake at first here, but it looks like they're going to now shift more players in from the truck position. More specifically, Automatic moves in, and Tarek will hold on the outer lane here. Automatic's going to need to get ready, though, as they are getting prepared to push into the site. Swings the door closed. He can't stay out here for too long, though, as yep, that's going to happen. Gobby will find him, take him down, and there's no one to hold the door shut anymore. And Big have an early advantage now as they walk into the site. Tarek, though, is going to creep forward, gets himself to red box. He could do some damage if he's not spotted. However, he can't manage the confusion and just ends up going down to next. Kadoodle, however, has some better luck, but it may be ending soon. He'll be pressured, tags him for some damage onto the A main player, but will be knocked out by Legia. Stewie has better luck. So along with Rush, both of them pick up 2 kills. They bring it down to just Stewie, though. It's a blind headshot, I think it was almost. No, it's a body shot, but that doesn't matter. Now it's in a 1v1. Gobby will look for the ability to clutch this out, but Stewie backs away from this one.
Is he going to expect the push here?
He sees his legs. No. He missed the shot, though, and that gives it to Gobby.
Oh my God, that is a devastating miss from Stewie. It was so damn close, and you wonder, did he need to scope to make sure that it hit? It was obviously, everyone knows where the middle of their screen is, but sometimes your accuracy is not anything. He actually says to Gobby, "You're ugly," in the chat after smashing his tape. Obviously, hot banter from friends, but the read is right there, man. Oh my God.
And he knows it's a miss there, too. Just tries to dive bomb onto him with the knife in hopes that he doesn't react in time, but Gobby's ready for that, so he knocks him out. And what is this little run boost that we're going to see here? Won't lead to a kill. The defense on B is actually pretty light right now. They basically just have Stewie sitting in there solo, and the only other assistance they would get would be from the mid players. So that's actually a little bit risky, especially now that it looks like Big are changing up the hit again. Once more, playing into the default, though, so no sign of commitment to this B haul just yet. So we'll have to wait on that a little bit more to see if they decide to follow through.
Defense is really calcified from the CTs, though. Now we have a rotate being pulled over towards A, or to B, excuse me. Automatic sitting at the truck, spotting the cross, and as long as that's not smoked, has no reason to push in at the moment. They have mid control. They potentially have a fast flank, and they've got a hold on B, but Big going through the motions of making sure that the other team is conditioned into believing that they might hit the other site. Now they do love A, and we've seen that. They go for these plants almost every single round. They've only actually got 2 in this half, surprisingly, but sometimes that's because these rounds have been so decisive. Automatic, whose main job was to spot, has actually moved over towards mid. This is kind of interesting. I mean, you're not even going to have info on players that are pushing into A.
He's going to go back now, so we actually might get over towards truck just in time in order to spot this, but now the smokes come in, so we can't really see anything here unless he pushes into the site. But he's solo here. That would be essentially suicide, giving away his life for maybe 1 or 2 trades, and doesn't even get the 1. Wow, Skadoodle goes down 2. That's probably going to be a save call from Cloud9 unless they can find some serious trades in the next couple seconds. Next will at least get knocked out. Stewie found a kill into Kiev too, so hold on now. It's into the 3v3. They might have found those kills anyway in order to try and retake this site with. The T's also don't really have any utility to hold this. However, it does not look like... Let's see here, actually. No, Rush goes into A main, so they are going to attempt this. And Rush walks right in for the free kill, and it taps in. He's not going to expect Gobby in A main, however. So find the trade there. Keeps itself even, and with Legia finding the kill, that does pretty much merge Stewie's chances of retaking this site. So he's going to have to fall back, and the round will go to Big, but Stewie can still find some impact, or at least he thinks he can. Unfortunately, that shot will miss, and he'll miss his opportunity for an additional kill.
Yeah, let's quickly take a look at the money after that reset. Hanging onto this off is integral because they don't have enough money to buy. 2K apiece on most players on Cloud9. Big with a very successful round, a couple of hot entries, and for some reason, it's Cloud9 to get absolutely destroyed at A almost every single round there. Even in the retake, didn't have the opportunity to go for it. But in the 3v3, Gob almost messed it up for his teammate, who was up on Toxic. Now, I don't know if there's a miscommunication, but Gob did not have an angle to watch anybody coming into A main, which is kind of funny because it still guaranteed the trade because he's assuming that, oh, right, well, if someone's here on Toxic, no one is going to be watching it for a push because that wouldn't be very supportive of a teammate.
going to be pretty much a rush into the B site here this time from Big. So not going to worry too much about these guys being on an eco. Nice from Gabi. Commits to that despite being blind. Stewie moving in. He's actually finding some decent impact here. Tarek still is positioned on the site too. And what is this from Stewie? Just picking these players off one by one right now. Oh my god, another one now onto next two. Legia, he's the last hope here in a 1v3, but no, Stewie single-handedly aces against Big, while every single other teammate only had a pistol.
Unbelievable. Taking the up in the next round and finding 5 frags. Did you see how sick that last peek was?
That was incredible.
Keeve was like, he's going to give me an inch or two. Stewie gave him nothing.
Let's watch this back.
A shoulder and an elbow, maybe. This is perfect.
Just leading into these kills one by one. Players on Big think they have an easy time to get into that site, but it's definitely not the case. The quick rotate from Stewie, and it saves the day. That's going to be an instant pause from Big as well once they get into the next round here.
That was dire straits for the rest of the half, man. The Cloud9 would not have had money for this round or maybe even next. Big now suddenly don't have enough to buy. Stewie's retained the up. Cloud9 take a lead in the half, and there are a couple more rounds left, but that's a tilt-inducing round. A pause called by Big to go over that.
Not only that, but
so what happened, guys?
That boosts Cloud9's economy back into a pretty good position here too. Because look at what it's done to Big. It's completely broken them. They're just onto this kind of semi-half buy here, and most players aren't even able to get armor. It's just pistols for a lot of these guys, and then some utility.
Tough sledding, man.
It was a huge round for Cloud9, and specifically for Stewie. So that might allow them to hold on to the lead going to the edge of this half here. We'll see what Big is cooking up though, as they've been able to find quite a bit of success even on rounds like this.
Set up for that A defense once again. They have been relatively static in the way, and predictable in the way they play it. Wow, a couple of nice headshots from Rush.
He's gonna look for more here too as he gets pushed by Keeve. Oh, he can't find the headshot, however, so Keeve will take him down. But Skadoodle immediately trades out a frag onto Gabi. And now Keeve, along with his teammate here, Sid is the only players left alive. Great reaction from Automatic, and he closes it out as well, finding Keeve there, securing the 8th round for Cloud9 as we head into the final round of the half.
And there's a small conversation that goes on after every round that you lose on a site, like what do we do differently? What if they attack from here? How are we holding each other? And obviously aim is a big factor as well, but there we see the CT defenses start to calcify. They're starting to make sense of how to just hold on, especially versus an eco, number one, not letting the bomb down, but then also not just getting straight up killed. And as we move into the last round with no plant, Big have no money for utility. They're set up once again for what looks like an ace, but will they go fast?
The smoke is going to have to hold them back. That would be very bold of them to try and push directly through that. It's a little bit of spam more, and it actually dinks Legia. He goes way down to 14 HP.
Little lot of it.
Yeah. So Cloud9 don't know it yet, but they get a pretty big advantage off of that. And Legia is going to have to play very delicately or risk his life here in the late round. Automatic also taking a very precarious position up on top of the catwalk there. He's going to have to be careful about that when the execute moves in from Big, as he is exposed. But Rush will do his best to take the distractions, but Automatic can attempt to get 2 frags, and they'll succeed in that. Then it quickly gets traded out by Tabson, though, so it's not safe just yet here for C9. As Skadoodle moves in, though, he immediately impacts, finding next. Bringing it down to just 1 here now from Big is going to be Rush, and he closes it out, too. He's on fire in that A site. Finally, we see him coming alive, and it secures a 9th round for C9 at the end of the half.
That was a really good, hasty rotate into the site from Skadoodle. Great supporting flashes. And just like the combat opera that you don't normally see him as, he rushes in and makes sure to help his teammate and really help Rush shine in that situation. We see a lot of presence towards A. Slowly got easier and easier for C9 to deal with, and clearly becoming much more efficient with their rifles. A lot of headshots being hit. As we close out the first half, 9-6 in favor of Cloud9 on Big's map pick.
So now we're going to have to see what this does to Big when they switch sides here. Now it's going to be coming up in just a couple seconds. We'll jump into it. Big will jump over towards the CT side, and Cloud9 will have to see what their T side is made up for. This is the one thing I was kind of worried about with Cloud9 coming into this map, was a bit of a one-dimensional T side, but they've been improving it steadily over these past couple of weeks now with the team. Obviously getting better and better here. So hopefully my fears are not going to be realized going into the second half.
Typically the reason that you pick a map is because you feel very confident in your T side. So I think that for Big, they might be a little, they might be down on themselves a bit for only getting 6 rounds. Now you just kind of expect to have a good CT side, but then you pick the map because you've got like a creative way to approach T side, and you feel comfortable staying coordinated and aggressive at the same time. But Cloud9 overall dealt with it fairly well. So the second half starts, so the first map of the semifinal. Double boost here as they look to approach mid. Very common in the pistol meta for the terrorist to just hold and wait for pushes, because it's very common for CTs to get aggressive. Keeps falling back to the A side, but tabseN's on a fast flank.
Keeve heard that, so he's able to get away and basically get himself out of the danger area there in mid. Falls back to the site, Legia now going to be next at the bat here, but his health pool gets absolutely destroyed by a nade. So both Keeve and Legia getting hit early on, and he'll be overwhelmed quickly. It's not just that kill from Tarek too, it's just utter domination from Cloud9 here in the pistol round. No trades at all yet coming in from Big here as all 5 stay up and running from C9 here. Gabi and Keeve looking for anything that they might be able to get. Keeve is being presented with quite a few opportunities for headshots, but at that range, oh, there we go. Finally hits one, but it won't be long before Stewie trades it out and then follows through, killing Gabi too.
Couple of tasty shots towards the end there, but I think it really failed where the communication didn't line up. I mean, they didn't expect it to be a B hit, but on the fly, Legia throws these 2 flashes. One of them actually binds a player who was going to run into headshot to help him. So that's a huge mistake from Big. I'm gonna avoid the pun. Like you always, it's
hard.
So many times that you save it. It keeps you in check, though. I think knowing that you use that word a lot, but. Either way, you know, it's a pistol round they don't have, and in a situation where Cloud9 have already reached double digits, 2 pistols can really win you a map if you don't get clutches later on. Stewie holding for the B push, throws the B main smoke. It's kind of just going through the motions, making sure that everybody is in check. CT is known to get really frisky, and the reason is because there's a lot of safe ways to do it. But no one here has actually made a move. Surprised to see Big not stack. They're kind of set up in what is almost a rifle default, right? They've got like 1 player truck, 1 player site, 1 checker, and they're relying on individual plays versus a team that is just as spread out with way better guns.
They've got a lot of their deaglers bought up with armor too, so it's a bit of an interesting buy as those that feel more confident buy up the armor, but they're not trying to fully force into this. That's really going to screw them over on the first gun run if they go for it here. Now, whoa, Keeve is actually able to swing in there, saving his teammate, and then wraps around for an additional kill too. Tarek only with 1 trade in there. Going to make things a little bit rough getting into the late round here for Cloud9, but thankfully Automatic has a lot of free swing up highway. That knocks out tabseN. Gabi's not also able to find anything when these players peek out from A main, but he does tag Skadoodle once. However, it's not for a whole lot of damage. Only brings him down to 64 HP. That is going to restrict Big's presence primarily to being over here. But now that they have AKs, they can find some impact here. And it's going to start with Keeve knocking out Automatic. They'll begin to look for this retake. Skadoodle gets aggressive, but he can only find 1. Now it's all down to Rush in a 1v2. Stuck in the back of the site. Still trying to look for a way to get at least one of these kills for free. But Big are playing this together now. They're not going to waste any of their players. And Gabi gets it done with just a deagle. Knocks out Rush, and that's another round for Big.
Damn, what a retake from Big on the eco. They actually absolutely needed to be able to pull that off. So huge plays in that situation. Now they pulled a, they was actually really good, great rotate over towards B from Legia and this ET that caught Stewie off guard. Him not being able to get a kill, and then Keeve wrapping on Tarek made that, took B off the menu, and obviously Keeve hitting a stellar headshot on our man holding from White Box, allowed that all to take place. So this also kind of talk about how they were too spread out. They got it together near the end of the round, and it's actually Cloud9 suddenly saving once again. They all Glocks, 1 flash on Skadoodle, who has been known to be the nade man of the team. And it was actually a huge investment into simply winning the round from Cloud9. Big have recovered 2 AKs, and sometimes you see teams buy straight up 3 or 4 UMPs.
tabseN is going to have to dive back away very quickly. Skadoodle with 1 kill. However, that's going to be the only one, as it is a shutdown for Big besides that. Very clean hold there, and they avoid as many losses as possible.
Okay, now they definitely, you know, this is an opportunity for Big to get like a huge start here. They're going to obviously have another save. They know that. They know that Cloud9 have 5 AKs, but they're also buying down to 0. They know they also probably have an op advantage in this situation and have some money left over. So great opportunity for Big to actually come back and make this 10-10 right now.
Big are also going to get a little bit more aggressive this time in mid too. We can see Gabi along with one other player. I believe that's going to be Legia at this point, pushing up to work together here over a counter boost. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to commit to an actual counter boost just yet, but we'll follow it up, especially if Cloud9 do decide to go for some mid control.
Okay, this position is so. Oh, never mind. I was going to say really good, but oh wow, this is actually getting very hairy at A. Next in a critical spot, it's the headshot too.
So he's got 2 kills racked up. The problem is now he's unsure about where the rest of the push is going to come from on C9. C9 actually froze up after they lost those 2 players, and now because of this, this has opened up another opportunity. This big flank from Gabi now. He's going to wrap around, instant headshot on the Deagle. Can't find the planter just yet, so he's going to have to sit back for a little bit longer, and Rush will find a trade kill in the process. Grabs Leggy, I believe, from Highway. Keeve goes down too, so it's Gabi and Next. The 2 big players on big themselves, but Next goes down. Gabi will come outside of Squeaky, gets the first kill, and brings Rush down so low, but Rush comes out on top, and that gives Cloud9 the advantage back.
Damn, looking like Flanders Field out there on the A side. Everybody dying, rotating up Highway, and Cloud9 just so close to actually losing that round. Rush up to 20 frags already, leading the scoreboard at A on both sides, it seems, and great round from him and Scoodle in the 2v4 to close that out. Gob had a sick position. I love that 1D play on the forklift, but as soon as a teammate dies, it becomes harder to actually exit, knowing that you can get spammed from the A site from safety. That quad is going to be watching you like a hawk, and he still made the most of it, I suppose, but really needed his teammates to help out a little more there.
It ends up being a force buy this time from Big as they buy completely out here, and you can see the results of that now. Gabi is going to be able to get this first kill, and they have players boosted up. Tabs going to fire early, but this 2-man stack is working to a certain degree. They've got to be careful of these trades, but they're maintaining shape here. Now bringing it down to a 3v2 as Gabi finds an additional kill here. Nonetheless, Cloud9 get enough site control to be able to plant, but they don't really have full control. They're basically stuck in the planting area, and that's the only thing that they're able to work off of. Rush gets 1 kill, now dead, and Stewie looking to clutch with a Mac 10 in a 1v2. Also using most of the clip, will go forward to find the AK, but that's also low ammo too. Forced into the corner. He's able to get that reload off at least, and now flicking over, but that's just going to give away his position and let Legia take him down.
You always run the risk, man. You shoot through that smoke, someone's going to shoot back, and it seemed like he was very close to lining those up, but gets traded out effectively. 2v1, they close it out. Bomb planted at the very least for Cloud9, but a nice round overall from Big. Let's see, 11-9 now. Not enough money to buy. We've got a couple of drops coming out from Big, but Cloud9 looking to hopefully do as much damage as possible at the very least. But what a hectic start to the half we have already.
Yeah, so far only Big has been able to chain together more than 1 round. Besides that, it's been a series of trades going back and forth across the board here. No one being able to find really a consistent gain here. Unfortunately, Cloud9 just find themselves being broken too heavily too many times in a row, so Big have a pretty good chance to shut down this round unless they get a little bit too aggressive. You see Tabson moving in, takes that A main control nice and easy, knocks out Tarek, but with him committed to A main, oh no, they're not even checking towards this quad corner. Next is going to be able to tear these players to pieces. They do catch a trade on Tabson, but again, it's only 1 player dead, so it's not going to mean much in the grand scheme of things. Legia knocks it automatic, and there we go. Big just 1 round away from being able to tie this matchup up now.
One thing that's not conducive to Cloud9's playstyle that will get you far on CT sides is pushing. And they do like to play it safely. They get spread out, and they do sometimes go for information, but they didn't push all that much on CT side. We see how valuable that was for Big. When they had a player in A main, one right behind them as 3 players came out Squeaky, gave them such an easy shot mowing those players down. So I think that is a distinct difference between their CT sides, even though there's some similarity in the way that they're putting players on the side at A. And that's been a big problem for Cloud9. There's going to be opportunities to find players pushing, and it's going to be important for Cloud9 to strike on those. We see the smoke the smoke goes down at the end of A main from Tabson, but they fall back off of it, and all this does is delay for their team. So Cloud9 have to focus their attention on it, assume that maybe somebody's in there, and they can't just simply hit B if they think that a CT's in A main, because that player is gonna call for a heavy rotate to the other side of the map.
Again, panicking a little bit there as he gets hit by a molly. Finally, Cloud9 are going to go for some control of the map over here with about a minute left on the clock, and they very easily actually get mid. They really don't even have to fight for it, too, because the player at Sandbags, Mute, nicely found from Tarek, too, catches that first kill, but now Keeve strikes back with the up. Finds Stewie hiding over there in Sunroom to take him out. However, automatic strikes, and they catch Legia hiding behind those Sandbags. Tabson out, ready to take the fight, though, gets 2 kills before ending up going down to automatic. And now it sits as a 2v1 with Keeve looking to clutch for the side of Big.
Oh, just misses the timing. Keeve had a golden opportunity there. There was no way that he could have run faster, however, so you can't hold that against him. But in the 1v2 with the half HP, moving up to the site, he's going to have to rely on just a very unsolicited peek from Cloud9. They're not going to want to give up this first frag. Staying fully scoped and getting taken out. Great round from Automatic. Great awareness at mid to clean up the 3 players there. And even with the appropriate setup, Big falls short.
So 12-10, and Big once again being put into a very delicate situation here on their economy. They do decide not to force buy into this situation once more. They will just upgrade pistols And looks like they're buying armor on most of their guys too. Leggy will buy a little bit more heavier. He goes in for a scalp, but besides that, it is going to be a relatively light buy from the CTs this time as they look to upset on it once again as they save for a full buy in the 24th round.
All posted up. Skadoodle at the back of A main, 2 making their way into Squeaky. And Stewie by himself on the B side. No contest from the CTs. Everybody's fairly passive. Mid control has been given up, and they aren't prepared to push anything quite yet. It's actually a huge stack now over towards A. And it's just going to come down to whether or not Cloud9 want a scout. Rush would be that player. It's got the least amount to lose.
Cloud9, they are going to start moving in for the mid control here now. Gabi trying to stop it. While he does do good damage to Automatic, he'll still end up just getting knocked out by Rush at the end of the day there. Actually being very safe about this mid clear. They molly out sandbags despite having a player right up front by Whitebox. They don't want to take the risk on getting double peeked Kiev. Will be surprised upon by Tarek, who takes him down. And now Legia, only with a scout on the site, trying to find some hits here, at least to tag these players, but can get nothing done. Next, however, has better luck there at Heaven, but the same old story, 1 and done. As he picks up the kill and immediately goes down, leaving only Tapson alive in a 1v4 situation. And likely, there we go, a Cloud9 round going up onto the board. They're just 3 away from map number 1 going into their favor.
Yeah, 3 away, and it's just been such a hectic back and forth game that now after all the deaths is settled, we actually see Cloud9 in a very good position to simply close this one out. 13-10, and as tumultuous as this last half has been, Big are certainly starting to fall apart. They have one more buy here, and if they don't put it together, they've bought down to 0, and that means they're probably going to have to force a stave off match point. Not a good position to be in, not with 4-round loss. We have a pause calls from Cloud9 to talk over what they want to do. There it is, the beautiful people of Denver. All you hotties.
The pauses are quick, however, so we're going to dive right back into the action. That was Cloud9's first and only pause so far in this map here. Big, in the meanwhile, only have 1 remaining here, and they might want to try to use it soon. Obviously, they took some time here as well to talk over their own strats, but Cloud9 on this winning streak now want to make sure that they can shut down what could be one of the last very important gun rounds here. And Big, they do have to stretch their dollar a little bit. We can see Gabi going down to a FAMAS, and not the best utility. They don't really get any mollies, so they're going to have to get creative. And they'll try to do that at Z, looking for a kill early on onto the boosted player. Kiev having sight just over top of the smoke. Can spot this player going over mid if he times it properly.
Yeah, they aren't at food stamps level, but it's starting to get to bargain basement tier buys. Or you don't have a diffuse kit, and also a little bit of a lack of utility.
Stewie's been able to walk all the way into the B site and somehow hasn't been noticed by the Heaven player just yet. Gabi's going to lurk out. Oh no! Gabi does spot him there, so goodbye to the lurk from Stewie.
That's like seeing an actual Jabated in real life.
Now Kiev will get out in here in mid too. He'll get 3 smoked once again. Cloud9 are just going to go straight into A main, it looks like, however. They have 1 player actually that managed to get out into mid. That's Automatic taking some duels, but coming out at the bottom of it. Tapson knocks him down. Next, now will be next up to bat here as he catches the Cloud9 players coming outside of A main. And right after 1 more falls, they smoke it out too. Cloud9 are running too low on time though, and they're stuck in a 2v5 situation. Rush gets that good position to find a trade. Skadoodle tries to swing, but he goes down, and Rush follows just a few seconds later. Big with another round, and they're keeping it close.
The round that they needed, they come through on, and it couldn't get tighter at this moment. Great opportunity here. Might be one of the last buys Cloud9 are going to have, and Big ended up saving a bunch of players as well. So everybody pitching in. Tough sign for Cloud9. It was unclear exactly what they were trying to get out of the round. Obviously, it seems like their T sides are almost like somewhat mirrored. A lot of presence at mid and A splits in general. A couple of B on the anti-ecos, I think, is one caveat. But here's some B presence from Big. Gob on the other side of the smoke. I don't know if he's going to get any more aggressive. But important to cut people off from checker whenever possible. It's particularly difficult, though, in a situation like this to defend a B split. So, as we can see, if Tapson is here with his teammate, they have a better chance. But it's very easy to isolate Gob in this position. And yet Cloud9 have really preferred to go A.
And they've really preferred to take mid control, much to the degree that we were seeing from Big in the first half as well. They're going to try to go over the top. The thing is Kiev is trained right on this angle. They're going to need to try and smoke him off or get rid of him to some degree here before they commit to this. Get him to peek over here in the other direction at least. They have some freedom, but yeah, they just end up walking right into his crosshair there. Tarek goes down, 0 chance to respond to that situation. And now it is just going to be automatic trying to solo lurk in mid here. Legia very, very ready to stop that. Should he creep past white box? Actually,
Ooh, did he hear him run away? He's going to hear those shots as well. Great chance to frag. Finds it as well.
now Nex is going to swing out though, try to stop the A main hit. He gets one kill, but then is overwhelmed a moment later. So that's Cloud9 taking control, but they don't necessarily have a huge advantage yet. It's down into a 3v3. Gabi's also sneaking out from mid here too, so Automatic's going to need to be ready to take this fight in a moment here as Gabi will certainly check this position. I knew he was fragging out here earlier, walks in. He does turn actually, but he only hits him once or twice. Now, it's going to be the players sitting over here in quad. They're both sitting in quad, actually, and they'll use the boost up, which gives away the fact that they're both sitting here. Even worse, a flashbang hits them, so the boost accomplishes nothing. tabseN now knocks out Skadoodle, and it's just Stewie left alive. He's going to try to work this in a 1v3 with an AK. Can't even line up the first kill, though. Goes down to tabseN, and Big pull off another A retake, giving them a 12th round and putting them one away from tying.
One away from tying. The peak was super tight there in that 3v1. Great retake, good composure from Big, as we've seen consistently throughout this match, and very, very important that they actually close that out. It looked like it was going to go their way. Automatic getting away with that highway lurk, but then ended up in a pretty unfavorable position versus God B. So here's tabseN peeking out into Stewie, and we saw a couple of those bullets miss because Stewie gave him assumed that the peak was going to be a bit wider, and sometimes that's what it comes down to. It is it really does suck sometimes when you go for a quad boost, because in a 2v3 situation you want to find a kill wherever possible, but as soon as you're spotted, right, nobody's going to fall for the fact that there was somebody putting you up. And that can sometimes be the end of the round, especially if you don't get that kill right away. So you could say that's where it began and ended. Now, Cloud9, 2 smokes, a couple of flashes, and a clear attempt to posture towards A.
Cloud9 will get ready to go for just a quick execute, supported by their smoke, of course. Here, Big actually give them the room they need, so at the very least, while Cloud9 may not be able to escape with a round win, they can at least get this bomb onto the ground. They're going to be trying something interesting, though. We can see players looping out to try and boost up towards mid. They're going to look for some additional kills if they can get it by surprising with the lurk up highway. So we finding one trade. And mind you, again, if you can look at the buy here, they're working with just pistols on this and trying to win it. Nex gets up to the site, sees the bomb, taps onto it, only for a second, though. They're still trying to check things out. Meanwhile, Skadoodle continues to get a couple kills here. Nex getting that closer position, and the T's kind of swarm the area here. Skadoodle with another one, single-handedly keeping Cloud9 in this round right now.
There's 2 people in the smoke, is that right?
And Big can't seem to find a way to win this here, as we see Gabi. I think someone got hit with a knife there, and Cloud9 win the round! How did they do it?
Just like that, one away from match point on the eco. They were only planning to get the bomb down. They went for the long con though, boosted Stewie up at mid. That made things really weird for Big. He got that kill, and now they think, all right, we've got to watch our back. Stewie doesn't actually go out to mid though.
Wow.
Comes back to A main, and what a great round from Skadoodle. And here's tabseN crying. The poor guy. Oh, my team sucks.
All right.
Poor me.
So last pause being taken by Big here. And what a time to do it, as they are going to be pushed to the edge. Their money, well, it's not amazing, but it's not terrible either. It is enough to try and force buy one last time, and a couple players are just going to be on pistols as a result of that, while others can either fully buy in the case of Kiev or end up on pumps for some others.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They put everything together. They CZ on Legia. They've at least prioritized nades, which you always know that number one Big have a use for those grenades, and that it's clearly understood that nades are very important because they know how to use them. So, and you know, you can get a kill. But the great thing about a CZ, right, is if you buy a crummy SMG, you have to drop that SMG for another gun. If you get a kill with the CZ, you can pick up the other gun and still have your CZ as a sidearm. And then you have the benefits of being able to move quickly with the CZ. These are some of the lesser talked about values of having really strong pistols. So, you know, straight up A smokes from Cloud9 as they make sure that nobody has pushed aggressively into the A site, but a couple players getting boosted over mid. Legia is not going to allow himself to die, however. He's called out this mid hit and has pushed through. Will he come back?
He's going to flash out. It's actually a pretty good flash. However, Skadoodle gets the better of him and just barely survives the encounter. Taking him down, and a team kill comes out too. So Nex almost gets a double right there, and essentially does. However, Cloud9 strike back with a vengeance, but tabseN holding on just as well. It's down to Rush in a solo play, but he's not going to be able to pull it off. tabseN shuts everything down for the NBK position and wins the round for Big, keeping them in this match, and once again putting Cloud9's economy into the dumps.
Young tabseN is such a monster, and his job is so difficult there. He's got to find a way to reposition, stay mobile without exposing himself to the correct choke points at the right times, and after he gets every single kill, perfect readjustments, great efficiency with that M4, and it was super impactful in that whole round. So Big one away from tying this up, and we saw Cloud9 come back earlier, but they're not. They can still be prone to giving up a lead as well. It's been an insane half, man. It's just that the trades have favored Cloud9 because they came out of the first half with a 9-6 lead, but here in the second, it's hard to predict based on what we've seen who's going to win the next round. It's been fairly even.
Even eco rounds and sort of forced situations
Oh
like we're going to see from Cloud9.
Whoa, Cloud9 have actually forced into this round. Is that a good idea? They could have saved it. I mean, they didn't have an op to recover either.
I think they're getting confident now because they just won a previous round with essentially just P250s. They feel they can do it on this type of buy here because they get utility behind the pistols now, they get armor behind it. Along, obviously, with that AK and op buy. So
you guys better start making noise. I think with this buy, they're going to need your help.
This is a big risk being taken by Cloud9 here, as this will completely break their economy and essentially let Big take the lead. Cloud9 can probably buy again when Big get up to 15 rounds. But then Cloud9 just have to chase OT at that point. There's no way for them to win in regulation anymore.
Drake's the only one singing about OT. It's not a fun place to be in.
He's going to go out there, but off the mark. So only does about 10 damage to automatic. Next as well. The molly's going down outside of Squeaky. They read this kind of explosion play from Cloud9 like a book right now. However, there's good flashbangs that would have let them out, but I think with the smoke there, Cloud9 are too scared to initiate, and Gabi, I believe just running straight through the B halls, is able to line up a shot on automatic and already knock out one of the players with a big gun. That's the AK gone down, and there's not an easy way for them to retrieve that.
They've already expelled a lot of their grenades. They have 2 smokes to work with, but they haven't had anyone push and hold B. They're running a big risk here. 30 seconds left. They're changing things up. The bomb has actually gone over towards Boost, but it looks like they're going to go ahead with a B split. And they kill Gob. They have the site. Legia is going to make the fast rotate in, but he's just got a UMP.
Stuck on the outside, but he will manage to get himself onto the platform. However, he ends up peeking right into the op. So they find that kill there, even it back up into a 3v3, and get site control. They also leave one player in mid, and that was close right there. Thankfully for Cloud9, the op from Kiev ends up banking off the wall, so it doesn't do a whole lot of damage at all. Nade goes into the back too, hitting Tarek for about 30 damage or so. He's still safe on that position, and we are going to see this player sneaking up towards Z. Stewie is going to go for a massive flank right here to sneak up on the big players. He's got to do it soon, though, as now the execute's beginning, but they may not even need his help. He gets one kill here, but Skadoodle's going to shut down the other 2 as it goes to Cloud9, and the risk pays off as they get up to 15-13, only one away from a map 1 victory.
Oh my God, what a round. What an intense round to get match point on. They got shut down at A. They changed it up mid-round. It seemed like a really, really risky decision to do. And whoa, what a nice shot from Skadoodle there in the hold. And Stu even stealing it up in the after plant to shoot Kiev in the back. So they get match point. They stole back the economy. I feel like if I was in their corner, I would have told them to save on that round, considering their odds of winning it. But they had different ideas, and they ran with that. Wow, wow, what a trade from Stewie.
Somewhat decent early round, however, and we can see Skadoodle getting over the top, though, to find Legia, trying to take the previous position of next, even though he was able to get a kill from there. I think they were expecting another play to push towards it. Tapson will now move in. He takes A main control at least, and is probably going to go right up to that door to try to hold close corner and punish Cloud9 when they attempt to move in, as he just assumes at this point, because they've been going through so many A main executes, that they would do it again.
They've got enough kills early on that they can really just run this clock down, holding for pushes, knowing that somebody's going to look for this trade.
I think that they're very much aware here, too, that Tapson's going to be in the corner. So they're going to be able to move in, quickly knock him out, and now it brings Big down to just 2 players. They have to pull off a 2v4 to keep themselves in this game and take it to round 30. Otherwise, it's Cloud9 that'll take the first map of this series. They move out, they're going to be able to find one of the CTs in the open. That's Gabi, down to the ground, everything on Kiev, and he's only got a CZ to work with, so this is looking impossible. He'll attempt to go in, but Skadoodle's ready for it, and it's going to be Cloud9 that take control of map number 1, taking Big's map pick and winning it out here to put them up 1-0 in this series.
Damn, the boys in blue deliver. What a heated engagement, round after round. So incredibly exciting, and what an amazing half. We have T and CT rounds peppered in. Nobody getting more than like 3 rounds at a time most. That's a tough loss. That's a tough loss, though. I mean, this is a map pick, right? I mean, they did come close to doing it. We saw kind of why they wanted to pick it because of how well they were playing early on. But Cloud9, man, they did something special there.
They fought tooth and nail to try and bring that comeback back in their favor, too. So many force buys really from both teams, but for whatever reason, it would never work out for Big in that second half. It always went by the way of Cloud9, as they had 2 incredible rounds that, to be honest, they had no business winning with the way that they forced into it.
Yeah, no business winning. That was a bare-knuckle fist fight, and couldn't be a more exciting way to start the final. So
Yeah, absolutely. So Cloud9, they get that first map, and with that, they're primed up very well, as now we're going to be heading over to their map pick next. It's going to be going on to Train to potentially decide this tournament here. If Cloud9 can take it on their own map pick, it's going to be up to Big to upset there and send it over to a third and final map on Cobblestone. So really, Big, what do you have to bring us on Train is going to be the big question here to focus on.
Yeah, Cobblestone could be very, very interesting if it does get that far, but they're going to have to get through Train first. Train is a very good map for Cloud9. We know that. I think there's stuff to talk about on their CT side and stuff like that, but the players have their headphones off, so we won't get into that in too much. We'll pretty much leave that for the analysts, I think.
Yep, and the analysts are ready, so let's send it back over to them to break down map number 1 of this series.
Hey, you know what? As always, you guys are crushing it over there. And you know who else is crushing it? We could talk about Rush. We could talk about Skadoodle. We could talk about Stewie2K being Vactivated with the AWP. Guys, what did we just witness?
On that first half, I just think that we were talking about how CTK needs to break them up, right? Needs to kind of disrupt them when they're trying to set up for things. And they did that by getting mid control a lot, right? They really played to mid control, not really allowing that to Mouse Sports, to Big, which is something that they really like to do, of course. And I also like the fact that they changed up their positioning at the A bomb site so often. I think Automatic was always in a different spot, boosted red, boosted outside squeaky door, on top the light squeaky door, on top the balcony. He was always coming from a different angle and finding some key frags, and then obviously Rush, he had a heater there. Yeah,
Rush has been undoubted. They don't play this map very often, but when they do, this guy goes off. In his last 3 appearances, he had a 33 frag game, one where he had 1.41 rating, and this one, I don't even know. He was mental again, 125 DAR. That guy, he might be the... It reminds me of 2015 Nitro at the A-bomb site. That's what it really reminds me of. Well, he's so dominant.
Rush has played that bomb site even back when he was in Elevate and different teams like that. It kind of reminds me of like Lane, another position he's always played his whole career, and he's always done really well on it. So even if it's a map they don't play a lot, individually Rush has that muscle memory, has an understanding of how to react to certain things. And they also just did really good like doing sneaky stuff through smoke. Sometimes it came back to haunt them. They lost a couple of rounds off of it, but more often than not, they succeeded in being able to do these gimmicky kind of things.
But I will say this about Big. If they did their research and they expected this, they should have known the way Automatic was going to play mid. They do the same thing every time they play Cash. They boost, they get mid control, boost Automatic up, he drops, goes behind white box, and then they send forward to one bomb site and he lurks white box. They did not punish that. They really had to do their research.
Yeah, the swarm and trade style, for Cloud9, again, that's their trademark, worked out well for them here on their T side.
Which, ultimately, hey, if it's not broken, you can't really fix it, right? They're coming out, they're looking strong, even though that was a close matchup. Certainly something to note there is just how these guys have sort of, come online. I mean, we saw op play there from players. I mean, I saw stuff from Stewie I don't think I've ever seen before.
Right.
There's others. I've seen it. I played Rank S.
Excuse me. We saw the Rank S Stewie here at the DreamHack ASTRO Open in Denver. That's what we saw.
Yeah, 2 other quick things real quick. I mean, because this game was pretty tight. I mean, what's that one round? They had 2 guys sitting inside of a smoke with pistols, and they win that round off of an eco, basically. And also one other thing to note, I'm not 100% sure this stat's correct, but I think including this game, Cloud9's only lost 1 pistol round the entire tournament. So the fact that they're always getting off the hot starts is certainly going to help them build that momentum, always help them have that lead advantage, keep their opponent's economy in check early on, and that obviously makes things a lot easier for your team.
Well, that does it for Cash. We'll be going to the next map shortly, and honestly, for all intents and purposes, is this about to be a 2-0 real quick?
Absolutely. I don't give Big any chance on Train.
Oh.
I'm interested to see if Big is able to use some of those gimmicks that we saw in earlier Train matches, like that boost they do over the smoke between 5 and 6 Train to get picks on T-Con. I wonder if Cloud9's noticed that. Also, we have to remember that Big has patented some stuff on this map. Like, they're really the ones who taught us how do you take ladder control now in an era where it's so hard to do that on the terrorist side. So I suspect that they'll still have something up their sleeve, but I think that Cloud9, again, that swarm and trade style is going to be really good on their T side. They have a lot of skilled players to play their CT positions. Stewie being like a really great player, but they've been kind of switching that up a little bit. So I'm curious to see how that goes. I think that they're going to 2-0 the series, just like I said before the game even started.
Oh, well, my man is confident nonetheless. Either way, we will be going into Train after this break, but I want to tell you a little bit about our friends over at Sliver.tv, where you can go, you can play and win free CSGO skins. That's right. Just get over there, check it out. Or, you know what? Let's just take a quick walkthrough. How about we?